Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Crypto News. And guys, a lot of y'all requested me to change up my titles a little bit and make it more accurate of what is described in the video, so I am trying to do that, alright? But please give me your feedback on these videos in the comment section down below, and make sure you help me out by pressing the like button. I think it just helps with these videos, and I appreciate you all a ton. Having said that, there is quite a lot of stuff to talk about, and my question of today is, what do you think of XRP? Bullish or bearish? Put it down in the comment section and let's get started. All right, me myself, I'm quite bullish, as I think most of you guys know, and it is interesting to read some of these things of today. Starting it off, TechCrunch founder was shocked by XRP hate in the crypto community. TechCrunch founder Michael Arrington, and that's kind of where I already was like, oh, I didn't even know that the TechCrunch founder was Michael Arrington, so that was kind of a letdown. I thought we would have something crazy, but no. He didn't have a warm welcome within the crypto community though, right? He's talking about himself. Arrington was a naysayer himself and a long-standing friendship. During his interview with Brad Garlinghouse, Michael, the founder of that venture capital fund and TechCrunch, claims that he was shocked by the hatred in the community. When he started the fund, the XRP-denominated fund, Arrington says that he ran into a brick wall who hated XRP with a passion he's never seen before. Quote, I was very surprised and shocked, actually literally shocked, at the people who hated me, who I never met just because I had chosen apparently one side of the crypto war. He now realizes that these religious wars are understandable since the combination of money and tech makes people very emotionally invested. So, to this extent, I'm like, well, what he kind of says in this part is that some people are kind of overzealous to talk about these things. They're too into it, too excited, too heavy on it as well, too committed. And I can say it's all but normal, right? It's all just the kind of casual and the way things go. If you're investing into something, even with religion, even with anything really, and you're a good willing person for others, you just want others to also enjoy that benefit, right? You also want to share your passion, and whenever somebody says, well, what you're investing in is shit, you're like, what? Oh my God, you're going to start that war. You're like, well, your thing is shit, dummy. Or those things that go back and forth. You're like, you know what? Screw you. We know it's the future and things like that. It's just like you want to defend what you think is right. I want to kind of bash what you see as plain wrong. And especially when there's just some internet anonymity attached to it, where some people can hide behind their screen, you'll see more hostility towards people you disagree with. And that's, I think, how a little bit of that originated. People think they have the right thing. For a lot of us, it might be XRP. For a lot of us, it might be Bitcoin. And it's not that strange to me that you bash at each other because you think you have the right thing. It's with a lot of things that way. Think about religion. I'm not going to say XRP and religion are the same thing, like he's saying, but I'm saying you can think about it like religious wars. They're done for a part out of the goodness of people's hearts, where they some guys, they just want you to transfer over because they think it's better for you. All right, it's not necessarily better for them. If I get people convinced to invest into crypto because I think it's the future, even though that's never my goal, if I do convince them though, it's mostly good for them. I don't really know the benefit for me if they get rich. Maybe they'll give me a couple of bucks, but in the end, it's not like, that will do me much good. It's just like you want to help people out wherever you can, right? To that extent, it's also quite crazy that people are so negative in the community because everybody's invested into crypto. Some are just into quote unquote the wrong ones. Well, making this interesting though is the naysayer part. Arrington says he got bored of his career in law, which prompted him to move on to blogging. I started off as a lawyer, and I got pretty bored within a couple of years being a lawyer. And I wanted to do something else, and I became an entrepreneur. When asked what eventually drew him to crypto, he replied that it was the Ripple executive. At first, however, Arrington was a skeptic himself who warned Garlinghouse against joining Ripple back in 2015 when it wasn't an obscure crypto startup. He believed that when it was an obscure crypto startup, he believed that this unorthodox decision would be the end of his career. Garlinghouse, who turned down 1% of Facebook stock in mid-2000, ended up making a killing at Ripple, growing his personal wealth to $10 billion at the peak of the craze in early 2018. That's kind of fun if you think about it as well. 1% of Facebook stock is what he could have gotten. He went for Ripple, though, and then became a multi-billionaire doing it that way. It's kind of interesting if you think about it, because he's the CEO. He's not really, in the literal sense, a shareholder. So he didn't necessarily have to be even a millionaire. He could have just gotten a $100,000 a year salary. But yeah, he is a billionaire, which is rather interesting. Here you can see a little bit more about their friendship, but I don't really care about that one too much. When TechCrunch originally sold AOL, it's just with Garlinghouse's previous job and things like that, which is why they have connections, but that really does not matter too much for us. It's just kind of a stop talking about the community for a little second. I think it would be better, yes, if people agreed with each other and people helped each other and whatnot, but are you going to get that? I doubt that. Ripple giant shifts 50 million XRP while receiving 17 million from Binance. Several major XRP transactions from Ripple tech giant and its ODL partners have been detected while Binance transferred 13 million XRP over to Ripple. Now, I don't know too much about these transactions, all right? We know one, a little bit. Binance trading giant has also transferred 13 million XRP to Ripple, allegedly moving redundant XRP stock, which was, I guess, what that part was all about. The rest, well, here we got some ODL going on, 37 million XRP out of this 42 million. The rest, yeah, I wouldn't really be able to tell you too much exactly what's going on. You can see from where to where it went, but what it means, yeah, I'm all ears. I don't even know, but I don't really care either. I mean, this stuff doesn't really matter in the end. It's just sometimes interesting to see exactly why they're moving those stuffs. But then, again, if you start to understand that, it could be for any reason, and most likely it is beyond our thoughts right now. Yeah, that starts to kind of sink in there. You're like, okay, let's just, I guess just wait it out and see what happens. Germany's BSDEX announces Ethereum Litecoin XRP trading against the euro. The world's first Germany-based regulated trading venue for digital assets, Börse Stuttgart Digital Exchange, has introduced trading of Ethereum Litecoin and XRP against the euro. So yeah, we got something good. Sounds pretty interesting. Sounds pretty nice. Where's the bad part? There's no bad part. There's no catch. It's just pretty damn interesting. We've talked about this for a little while, but I'm guessing since it came out right now, that right now they got the green light for it. Now they got the confirmation. First it was a thought, now it is officially there. That's what I'm assuming from all of this. As again, we talked about this a long time ago, but I guess it's been confirmed right now. Then a little bit of a mood killer. Not that nice, but still, in my opinion, quite okay news. Ripple confirms Bank of America that it's using its technology during Swell. We all saw that. So at first, Bank of America was, theoretically speaking, speculation. We got some hints from both sides, but no real official statement like that. We knew it was there, though. I did a couple of videos explaining why it is 100%. But now they've confirmed that they are using Ripple's tech as well. The only problem is a couple of sources, even one of the most early sources, state that it is using XRP, even though it is not necessarily doing that. Macross indicated that Bank of America is utilizing Xcurrent and not the ODL, which is on-demand liquidity, which is what utilizes XRP. The one that has fast remit was an ODL demo, and it was in the main/live room. The one that had BOA was in the demo room, and it was an Xcurrent demo, not ODL. I was there watching it live. So that's a little bit of a bummer. Kind of expected it though, but it's good to have those facts straight. And again, don't see this as something pretty strange or stupid. No, we know what Ripple said back before. They said it is about getting them onto RippleNet, all right? And Xcurrent is also part of RippleNet. The second part is getting them to use XRP, but that process comes naturally because once you provide them some way to save money and they see it works, it's nothing but normal for them to also switch over to anything that you can provide them to save and help them out more. It's just getting that first connection going on, and some are hesitant with crypto, which I get. Maybe they're also working and waiting for a framework. Could also be that they are waiting to, they want to, they're waiting for it, but they just can't because of the legal stuff. Could also be. But that could change rather quickly. So we got the election coming up next month. And I got some more stuff to talk about in that and a little bit later, guys. I got more videos planned here, by the way. I got a lot of stuff to talk about, but we'll get to that in just a second. A 90 times return in 5 years. Former Goldman hedge fund manager says an enormous wall of money is coming. So this was one of the interesting thoughts of today. It was pretty damn trending. A lot of people within the community have been talking and reading this. And it's because, well, Bitcoin has been on fire in 2020, having rallied almost 60% year to date to approximately dwarf the 7% return on the S&P 500. According to Raoul Pal, a former Goldman Sachs hedge fund manager, the world's biggest crypto is just getting warmed up. And what I've fetched from all of this is just, Bitcoin will soar. All right, that's the thought here. Bitcoin will follow along. Well, what do we know from thoughts like that? It is just that altcoins will most likely outperform Bitcoin like crazy. I mean, in this case here, it's according to Lark Davis, but I think any rational individual would also agree with me on this one. And again, this is not financial advice, it's just my thoughts, but I think most guys will agree that whatever Bitcoin can do in terms of gains, for altcoins, there is quite a little bit more potential. There's quite a little bit more room, as partially they are way, way, way lower. So, for example, XRP, it could do times 20 before it gets to Bitcoin's market cap, meaning there's less money tied up in it right now, which means there's just kind of an easier way to get to higher prices, or at least higher levels of market cap, because you're not exploring anything new. You're just kind of putting in some more volume, some more value, some more wealth that was already kind of there. If we're talking about, Bitcoin going up times 20, all of a sudden we're talking about some crazier numbers, which are a little bit harder to pull off. Not impossible, but a little bit harder to pull off, And that's why there's, in theory, quite a lot more potential for some altcoins than for crypto. To another end, it's always like, well, the Bitcoin is kind of the main thing, right? But it's actually not that good of a crypto if you start to consider multiple factors. It is just kind of the grandfather. If you look at it from that perspective, though, it's like people, mostly institutions, will hop into Bitcoin first because it's the stuff they know. Then after a while, they're like, well, since it will most likely be like this, they know about it, they buy in. After a while, the prices will have gone up more because more institutions are coming in. And the guys who bought at the start, they're going to be selling it all off, meaning the price will go back down, but that will most likely flow into some altcoins. And because, well, it will flow down a little bit, but it's going into altcoins, and people are then, because altcoins soaring, still getting into crypto, those Bitcoin prices don't fall that heavily, but will go up slightly since there's institutions coming into them piece by piece. But since those altcoins then will be doing heavily, because people are flowing into them, and we've seen that historical connection as well, where altcoins gain more because they've waited out for a longer time and rushed faster and things like that, the people will hoard into those as well, meaning we see some crazier gains coming for them, which again, I'm pretty damn excited about. Then, something interesting, John McAfee starts tweeting from prison, brings up Epstein conspiracy. John McAfee praises prison food and revives conspiracy theories around Jeffrey Epstein's in one of his first tweets since his arrest. So, I don't know if I should show all this type of stuff in my videos. I mean, I would like to cover it, but I don't know how YouTube likes this type of stuff, So I'm hoping you guys can just briefly pause it and then just read it for yourself or check the article out, because it is pretty heavy, And the main reason I'm saying that is because John McAfee, is one of those guys who's like against the traditional system. He's like, I don't give a crap. I'll do whatever I want. You can't stop me. I guess they can. But he's also saying, if something happens to me, you know what happened. If something happens, you know what happens. You know what it was. Which kind of makes me think, like what's going on right there. And will it really happen? Or will they not do it because he got access to Twitter and things like that? I mean, let's say there's some guys as well within other communities that have ever said, if something happens to me, X amount, people did it. These people did it. And there's been multiple cases where we know that he said that and it happened, and yet nothing really happens of it. And in other cases, it's like, well, it could also be that some have not gotten anything to happen to them because they have spoken out about it. Like, if something happens to me, you know who did it. And I don't want to, offend any people here by saying those names, so I'm not going to, be calling anybody out, but I'm just thinking about that sometimes. And then here, Ripple contributes $10 million to NGO Mercy Corps at Swell. CEO says the US is giving advantage to Chinese tech. Lack of regulatory clarity in the US, putting companies like Ripple at a disadvantage, forcing them to consider a move out. Which again, I'll be talking a little bit more about later today, about this Chinese tech and the big war that's still going around, because it is rather important. It is really important to talk about. It will also get a little bit further into this Brad Garlinghouse little part. So stay tuned, guys. Make sure you press the like button if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys again in another crypto video. Take care.